Everyone. Good evening, sir. Okay, so a quick recap what we did yesterday. Yes, who can tell? Yes, Fahad, what we did yesterday. Yes, Pawan, can you tell what we did yesterday? Uh, s-
uh,
yeah,
Few things about the clipboard, copying, copy pasting,
okay. Anything else?
the action recorder.
Yeah, action recorder. Okay. Now, let's start today with the coordinate system first, and then if there is time, we'll be moving on to draw tools. Okay. Okay, so we had discussed yesterday what is UCS and WCS. So what was the full form of UCS?
User coordinate system.
Yeah, and WCS is World Coordinate System. So whatever the inputs by default the AutoCAD takes, it takes according to the UCS system. Okay, so as I told you, if I move my UCS, so this is my UCS icon that shows X and Y direction. So if I move my UCS and I give my inputs as let's say for the line command, I'm giving my input as 0, comma 0. So you can see that it takes with respect to the UCS system. But let's say I some point of time I decide that I want to give my inputs with respect to your WCS system. But you cannot have a mark over here for the WCS system. You cannot see any mark over here that WCS system 0, comma 0 is over here. So that what you can do is when you create a line or a dot, whatever the command you're giving, I want to give first according to the WCS system. So that is your world coordinate system. So when you're giving inputs for world coordinate system, you have to give star or asterisk mark at the start. So you can see over here, I have given asterisk mark, and after that I'll be giving my input as 0, comma 0. And you can see that the input has been taken with respect to WCS system. Okay, is this point clear to everyone?
Yes.
So if you don't give an asterisk mark, it will be creating with respect to UCS system, and if you give an asterisk mark or the star mark, it will be creating with respect to WCS system. So I'll just show you how it works. So let's say I take a line, I give as 0, comma 0 first input, I give 0, comma 500. After that I give 500, comma 500. So this is currently taking the coordinate system, please remember. Okay, 500, comma 500. Now it has taken this. Let's check what happened over here. So from this point it should take 500, comma 500. So this is 500. From here it should move 500. So again I'll just see over here. Let's check first these settings, and you have to check what type of inputs are there. So this is relative coordinates. We'll be discussing relative and absolute. I'll just right now change absolute coordinates. Okay, now this is perfect. I'll again start. So from UCS we had to create, so I'll give line command. give 0, 0, 0, 500, 500, 500, and then 500, 0. Okay, so this you were giving absolute coordinates. These are known as absolute coordinates. What is absolute coordinate? It considers this as an xy axis where x is shown in red, positive x, and y is shown in green color, that is your positive y. Now whatever inputs you give will be taken with respect to this as 0, 0. So even if I give now 500, 500, it is with respect to this as 0, 0. That too in UCS system. So if I give line, I'm giving input as 500, 500. So you can see where it starts. Okay, so that is what is taking as your input. Now the same input this I'll give with the asterisk mark, and we'll see what happens. So again the line command, but first you have to give asterisk mark, and then I'll be giving the same. So first is 0, 0. Again I'll give asterisk mark, you have to give. Okay, please remember that asterisk mark. Then I will give 0, 500. Again, then I will give 500, 500 with asterisk mark. Everything when you're giving asterisk mark is being created with the respect to your WCS system at 0, 0. So again, I'll
Sorry,
give
sir. Bad internet connectivity. Sorry, sir. Can you repeat?
whatever we do when we give asterisk mark, it will be with respect to your 0, 0. That is for the WCS 0, 0. If you give asterisk mark. So you can see without asterisk mark, these are your inputs with respect to UCS 0, 0, and with asterisk mark, these are your inputs with respect to WCS as 0, 0. If you forget once to give WCS asterisk mark, so what will happen? So let's say I give line, I'll give asterisk mark 0, 0, and I want to join at this point, but I forgot to give asterisk mark, and I give 500, 500. It will join with respect to your UCS 500, 500, because I have not given asterisk mark at the start. So I hope this is clear about your UCS and WCS.
So why are you giving the asterisk mark, sir?
To have the coordinates with respect to WCS system.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, and when UCS is used and when WCS is used?
The world coordinate system is that generally we keep it as default, but let's say you have a survey point, okay, so and this direction also north, your project is not facing perfect north, so your y is not perfect north. So as I told you, your world coordinate system never changes. What is going to change is local coordinates. So keeping over here, I can change the angle in UCS system. Okay, so whatever angle I want. So you can see over here, north, west, south, east remains the same, but your top has changed. And when I
Okay,
click on top, you can see this is my direction of working, and the north is in this direction.
okay, okay.
Now, if you want this back to its original place, just hover over this and you can say world. Once I say world, it gets back aligned to the world coordinate system, and over here you can see the WCS. Now, what are absolute coordinates and relative coordinates? Absolute coordinates are the coordinates with respect to your UCS icon, that is 0, 0. I'd like to have you on the mute, okay? Please. Yeah. So absolute coordinates are taken with respect to 0, 0, your UCS system. That is your absolute coordinates. And your relative coordinates are taken with respect to whatever the last point was there. So right now, if I give a line and I draw a line that is starting from 0, 0, and it goes and ends at 500, 500, 500, 500. This is perfect. Now if I draw a line from this point and I say the next point joining it is 500 comma 500, 500 comma 500, you can see it comes and joins to this point. That is your absolute coordinate. This is absolute coordinate system. But from the same line, if I give relative coordinates, so line, I'll pick this point. From this point, I want to give relative coordinates. That will be 500 comma 500. But this time I want to give relative, so I have to add at the rate. Once I give at the rate, I'll say 500 comma 500. Now you can understand that if this is this. So if you consider relative, what relative becomes is that this point becomes your 0 comma 0. You can see the red lines. So this point becomes 0 comma 0, and with respect to this point it has taken 500 comma 500. That is your relative coordinates. But absolute coordinate, when I gave as 500 comma 500, it took this point. Okay. So absolute coordinates are respect to xy UCS whatever you are having, and the relative coordinates are with respect to the last point that you had taken. Okay, whatever the last point you are in. So if I say line, I'm from here, and now whatever I give relative, I'll say at the rate, and I'll give 500 comma 500. So this point, that the last point was there of mine, that becomes your 0 comma 0, and with respect to that, whatever your inputs will be given, that is known as relative. Now by default, we can have this as absolute or relative. So let's say you don't want to have absolute coordinates. Every time you don't want to give at the rate, you're going to work in relative coordinates only. So what I can do is I can go to D settings. Over here, click on settings, and over here you have absolute coordinates and we have relative coordinates. So what should be default, you can decide. So if I give relative coordinates OK and OK, now if I create a line and I gave 500 comma 500 without giving at the rate. So 500 comma 500, it is taking relative. Okay, you can see by default it takes at the rate. If you come to the command history, you can see over here by default it is taking at the rate 500 comma 500. You don't have to give it because by default you have made the settings as relative coordinate system. I hope this is clear to everyone. Absolute and relative coordinate system. Okay. Now let's start with the draw tools. Just to
Sir,
give you another example of relative, how it works, I'll
yes.
create a rectangle and I will give. So D
Sir,
settings. Yeah.
so if we have to insert the CAD file in Revit, then in each format it is required to have the drawing in UCS or WCS. If we have to insert it in Revit.
No, it is not a compulsion over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What should be the coordinate system? Coordinate system is for working of REs to understand the thing. Okay. You
Okay.
can insert in Revit which point you think is perfect. You can insert that. Okay. You can give that as an origin and you can insert in Revit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Coming back over here.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, what if we don't use UCS or WCS? I mean, we start from a random point and we start drafting from that.
No problem with it. You can just afterwards go and make, let's say you make a plan over here. You can just change this and give one of the corner as your start of your UCS system. That's it.
As you said that we can shift the UCS to that particular point, na? So that will
Yes.
be the difference of the UCS one, na?
Yeah.
What if we don't change? We started the AutoCAD, that is our UCS x-axis and y-axis, and from a random point we just zoom it out, and from a random point we start drafting. So what will be the difference of it?
There is no difference of it, but whatever the coordinates it will be taking. So if you go and check a coordinate of a point, so if I am taking a line, I am drawing anywhere randomly. This is random. I have not given any inputs. But when I go and check its this the point starting point of it, okay, that is its coordinates. So you can see over here x, y, z values. That is what is going to be different.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's start from the draw tool. And the draw tools first we have a line. So when I say a line, you can just hover over this. You will see it says that creates a straight line segments. Now why it says line segments? Because a line that you are having is not infinite over here. Okay, this is a finite line. So that is why it says line segments. In this, of course, we have infinite lines as well. So that is why this calls as line segments. Okay, so each segment is separate entity over here. So if I go on drawing continuously, these are your lines, and each line is separate segment or single entity over here. So you can see this is single entity. Now to draw a line, you have a shortcut L, or you can just come over here and select this line, or just type L. Space and enter works mostly the same in AutoCAD. It does not work same in Revit. Okay. So over here you can give space or either enter. So I'm giving space. Now you can see it asks for the first point. So it says that specify the first point. Now the line segment is created by two ways. That is you're giving the first point and the second point, or giving the first point and whatever the coordinates angles. By this way you can give. So it says that specify first point. Your line command line also gives says that specify first point. So I'm clicking over here and it says to me specify next point. That's it, your line is created. Now this is in a continuation, so that is why you are having second line immediately started. If you don't want to create second line, give escape, you come out of the command. But let's say you want to immediately start creating a next line, give space, you are again into the line command. That is your repeat command option. Now again you can pick a point wherever you want to start and you can go on continuously creating line. Now two options you can see in the command prompt. Okay, close, that is close at the start point whichever you created. So close point over here because you started from this as a continuous segment. So that is your close point, and the next point is undo. If you are doing the lines over here, I have click, and you can see I'm going to click next, but I want to undo the last line. So give u space. Now, if you want to give shortcuts of this close, exit, undo, you can come over here and click as well. Otherwise, you can see that at the start of this, you are having some letters given in the blue. Okay, so you can see in the exit X is in blue, in the undo U is in blue, and close C is in blue. So you have to use that only letters to give the shortcut. So if I want to exit, I have to give X and then give space, so it exits, or you can directly exit from the command by giving escape. So this is a simple line command. Now in this line command, if I give a start point and I have to give a specific angle at which certain distance has to be created. So first thing, you're not going to give directly the distance over here. First thing, you're going to give the angle. So right now you can see different angles are over here. I press tab. Once you press tab, you'll come to the angle point. Now let's say at 30 degree I want to create it. I will give 30. I'll press tab again. Now you can see at 30 degrees my line is locked. Okay, now I can give whatever distance I want. So at 30 degrees my line is locked. I'll give, let's say, 200 distance. Give enter, distance 200, give enter, and your line is created. Now over there, when I was giving 200 and giving space, it was not working the same because it was going on spacing the between the numbers. Okay, so coming over here, you can see a line is created at 30 degrees of 200 distance. So this is the another way I was talking about. Otherwise, you can create line by giving the coordinates. So first point coordinates, let's say 0 comma 0 that I told you. By coordinate system you can give, and let's say next is 200. You want to create at line at 30 degrees and 200, so you can make a calculation. Okay, or you can give the coordinates as I told you. 200 comma 200, so the angle will be 45 degrees. So this way you can create it. Okay, so this is the simple line command. The next command that we are having is polyline. Before that, I'll just create some random shape to explain you what is the difference between line and polyline. The next command we are having is polyline. So if you come over here, you can see the polyline command, or the shortcut you can use is PL. Okay, that is your polyline. Now in this polyline, it again says specify start point, and after that it gives you many options, and you can specify the next point. So I'm just creating like this only random objects and closing. Now what is the difference between the line command and the polyline command? So line command, as I told you, each line segment is a separate entity. You can see over here. I can hover over this and I can select separately the each line. In the polyline, the line is a continuous object. So you can see over here, the line is a continuous object. Of course, you can convert this into a line segment also by giving explode command, or you can join this lines into a single entity, that is by giving join command. That will be in the modify section. We'll see at the modified. Right now we are learning about the draw tools. So this way you can understand polyline is a single entity. So you can see over here, as I hover over this, this is a complete single entity object that we are having. So this is your polyline. Now in the polyline, of course, you can give different kinds of things. So if I go to Klein again, I say specify start point, I give another point. After that, I have, let's say, arc in between I want. So I can give arc over here. Okay. So you can see I have given an arc. You can give like this way, and I will give escape. So I am out of the command after you give escape. Now if I hover over this, you can see the line, the curve, the arc what you are having is a single entity still. Okay, even after the line I made a curve, it is a single entity, not a separate object. Now this can be sometimes beneficial. So what happens is that many times you will be needing it as a single object. Now if I told you to make an simple arrow marking the north, what you'll do, you'll be going with the line command. I'll be creating this first like this way. Let's say shift, holding shift gives you 90-degree, ortho modes 180-degree, okay, 0 degrees and 270 degrees. So I'm holding shift right now. We'll see ortho mode again. So I'm holding shift right now. I'll click over here. Now I'll just create, let's say at 10 distance. This is the way in which I'll be creating a arrow, a simple arrow. Okay. By with the help of line, I am creating command, line command.
My holding is it my holding auto.
Hello. Ajay, you are trying to say something?
Sir, by holding shift while drawing a straight line, we get 90 degrees now, sir. By holding
Yeah.
shift, by holding ortho.
Ortho is not holding. It is like ortho mode. You can turn on or off. So if I give line command over here, right now you can see I can go into any angles. Okay. 360-degree, any angles I can go into. But when I turn my ortho mode on, that is your effect. Now you can just go 90-degree, 0 degrees. You can go 180-degree or 270 degrees. Now this is very needed if you want to create a complete straight line. You can see over here, I can go in this directions only. I cannot go in any other angles. I cannot do it. Now every time, instead of turning on and off your ortho mode with the help of F8, that is your shortcut, I can just hold my shift. By holding shift, a temporary ortho is turned on. And if I release shift, you can see over here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, holding shift, your temporary ortho is turned off. Now you can see I have created an arrow over here, but this is a separate entity. Okay, each line is a separate entity over here. If I want to move, I'll have to select all of this and then I'll have to move it. Okay, but with the help of polyline, you can create an solid fill arrow. So you can see inside part is not solid fill. For this, you'll have to go to hatch and you'll have to fill this. Instead of that, I'll just give polyline. I'll straight select. I'll hold shift to create straight. After this, you have an option of half width. So I'll click on half width and I'll give half width as, let's say, 30 and the end width as 0. So you can see an arrow is created. If you hold shift, you can decide it's on this way. You can create an arrow. So you can see over here this arrow and this arrow. Okay, so this is a single entity. Now if I select this, I can move it as a single entity. This is a separate entity. So if I try to move, it will move separately all the parts. So I have to select all of this. As well as I get a solid fill arrow over here. Now you can get a line also of solid fill. So let's say I specify first point, give line, that is your polyline. I give this, I say half width, and let's say width of my line should be 20 and 20. Now you can see over here, this line has a width of 20. So this is the polyline. And if you select, this is a complete single entity object. So these are the options with the help of your polyline. I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, moving on to next. Next we have circle.
Sir,
Yeah,
as you just told about the arrow, there is one more command na, for making an arrow.
what is the
Leader,
command?
leader. Mm.
Leader
Yeah.
is like giving the annotation part. I'm just talking about a simple arrow.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Leader is a part of annotation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So you can see over here, go to annotate, we have leaders. But this is to mark something when you want to give what is the marking of it and you have to give a name for it. We'll be looking leaders at the time of annotation.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming to the circles. Now we have 6 different ways to create circle. This is 6 ways and one is from the ellipse. Now let's look at first the 6 ways to create a circle. The first way is very simple. That is your center radius. Now you have to give this center first. So you can see it prompts you that give specify center point for circle. So coming over here, give center point. Now center point you can give randomly or you can give coordinates. If you want to give coordinates like 0, 0, you can give the starting coordinates and then you can specify the radius of the circle. So you can see over here, I'm changing the radius of the circle. You can just give however you want. So let's say I give 50. 50 is the radius of the circle. So center point is at 0, 0 and your circle is created. So this is simple. Next is center diameter. So you can click on this center diameter. You can specify the center wherever you want randomly, and you have to specify now whatever your diameter is there. Let's say I give 50 diameter only. So you can understand this is the radius 50, diameter will be 100, and this is diameter 50. So from this you should understand it. So this is the two simple ways to create a circle. Of course, if you are in the center radius command also, you can just create from here also. You can just press D, so you get a shortcut to create diameter. So I'll give diameter and I'll give 100 as my diameter. So you can see 100 diameter circle. So from this command only you change with the help of this options given at the bottom. Next is your 2 point circle. Now what is a 2 point circle? So if I come over here, I can just pick this point and I can pick another point and you can see a circle is created. Now the 2 point circle is that you have to just pick 2 points and a circle will be created passing through that 2 points. So that is simple, a 2 point circle. Because this line becomes your diameter or whatever between your 2 points, a straight line if you join, it will be becoming a diameter, and that is how a circle is created. So that is your 2 point circle. After that, we have a 3-point circle. So for the 3-point circle, I'll just show you. I'll just create a line. So let's say I create a line from over here to here. Now, if I can take a midpoint of this all three lines, so circle, 3-point, and I'm just taking midpoint of all these three lines. So first midpoint, second midpoint, and third midpoint. You can see a circle is created passing through the 3 points. So that is your 3-point circle. So simply, I'm taking 1, 2, 3. That's it. Your circle is created. That will be passing through the 3 points. After that, you have a circle that is tan radius. Now, what is tan radius? Tan radius is that the circle will be tangent to two things, and you have to specify the radius. It will automatically get created. So I'll click on tan radius. Now let's say for tangent, I pick these two lines. So this is my first line, this is my second line, and I have to specify the radius. So let's say I give 100 radius. Now you'll see that the circle is formed over here, and you might see that no, the two lines are not becoming tangent to this circle. The circle is of radius 100. So if I go to properties, you can see over here radius is 100. Now why don't you see this as a tangent? Because this line is not lengthened. So if I just lengthen this line, you can see over here the line becomes tangent, and this line becomes tangent over here at this position. So I'll just extend this line as well. So hover over this, lengthen, and you can see over here this line becomes tangent. To show you again and another one, so just come over here. I'm creating two random lines, okay, and I have to give circle. So come over here. After that, I have to pick two tangents. So this tangent line, and I have to give a circle. So let's say I give the radius of the circle is 50. So you can see over here, the line is tangent to the circle, and with the help of radius 50, you have created it. Now let's say if you give 100, it will be created far from it. If you give smaller the radius, it will be created closer to this. So again, circle, I'll pick tangent line. It is not compulsory wherever you click at that point only the circle will be tangent, because you are picking randomly the points. You are not picking with some perfection, okay? So tangent can be anywhere on this line, or this line can be extended also. Now if I give radius, let's say 10, you can see over here a small circle is created of radius 10 and tangent to this line. Now does the circle has to be tangent to only the lines? No. Let's say I want to create a tangent circle to this two circles, it should be tangent. So I'll just come over here, circle, tangent, and I will give the radius as, let's say, 30. You can see over here a circle is created which is tangent to both of the circle, and its radius is 30. This is your tangent radius option. After that, the next you are having is tan. Now instead of giving radius, you have to give three tangents. So this is what you're going to create. So if I create a line, I want that this my circle should be tangent to all these three lines. So I'll just come over here, select tan. I'll just click anywhere, and you can see the circle is formed. The radius I will be not determining. I'll be just giving which three lines or any object should be the tangent, and it will create the circle. So these are the different ways of creating circle. Now of course you get some options at the start only. So when I'm into the circle command, okay, so you can see 3-point, 2-point, tan radius options. So from this only you can see I want 3 points, so give 3, give space. It is taking over here. Just a minute. Circle, yeah. Now give 3p and give space. Now you can see 3-point over here, and 3-point circle starts. So whatever is shown in the blue, you have to type that completely, and then only you can use the shortcut instead of every time going over here and changing the settings of what type of circle you want. I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. After that, we have this arc. Now coming back over here, arc also we have many options in creating arc. We'll just discuss, and the rest of others you can just find out. because most of them are given over here only. From the namings you will understand: start, end, angle, start, center, end, 3 point. Now let's say 3 point. Of course you have to give 3 points. From that you will be creating an arc. It is very simple. Now if I want to give a start, center, end, angle, I'll just create a line over here. Okay. Now go to the arc. I want to create start, center, end. Now give this. Let's say this is my start point. Now I have to give a center point. So it says specify center point of arc, and you can see you have to give an end point. Now up till where you want to end it, you can decide. So you can decide over here. So this is start, center, end. You gave the start point over here. You gave the center point over here. So if I remove this line, this is actually your arc. So you give start point, I give center point, and I give end point. So this is how it becomes. After that, I come over here, arc, and you have start, center, angle. Now what you're going to give is start point, center point, and you're going to give the angle. Okay, so you can see over here angle. So you can give whatever degrees angle you want. So let's say 120, enter, and you can see from this line at 120 degrees your arc is created. After that you have start, center, length. Now start point, center point, and length. Now the length is of chord length. Okay, understand this. This is a chord length, not a circumference or your length over here, not of the circle. Okay, whatever your circle length is there, it is not that arc length. It is your chord length. So you can see the yellow line that I'm choosing, that is your chord length. So you can see it says specify length of chord. So you have got the chord length. After that you have start, end, angle. So this time instead of center, I'll just remove this. Instead of center, you have to give end and angle. So now you can see start, center, angle was there. Now you have to give start, end, angle. So start, this is my start, this is my end, and you have to give angle. Now angle, as you can see over here, it becomes tangent to it. Okay, basically it works like a tangent. This yellow line works like a tangent at wherever the point is there. So point is imaginary, so mostly it tries to be a tangent. Okay, so this is your angle that you get. So this is your start, center, sorry, start, end, angle. So this way you can just go on start, end, direction. Sorry, not in the start, end, angle. The line does not become this over here. It becomes in the start, end, direction. Okay, start, end, and direction. Yeah, in the direction it becomes tangent, not in the start, end, angle. In the start, end, angle you have to give the angle. Over here it becomes the tangent. So you can see this line is tangent anywhere you go. After that you can just go through other start, end, radius, center, start, end, all this type of angles we are having. Now after this we have a rectangle. Now how to create rectangles? Rectangle shortcut is REC, or you can just come over here and click rectangle. You can specify first point, you can specify next corner point. That's it, your rectangle is created. But now if you give REC, now you can give specify first corner point. So let's say I want to start at some specific coordinates. So I have to give 0, 0. You can see I have started specific at one coordinate, and next I want to give somewhere absolute again. So you can see over here at which point you want to give absolute. So let's say I give 500, 500. So it will become a square and not a rectangle, because your distance is 500 and 500. Okay, so this is taking absolute coordinates. If you want relative, let's say you create somewhere REC, and from this point you want a rectangle with length equal to 20 and width is equal to 10. Now remember that always the length will be the first thing, because whatever is parallel to x-axis is your length, and whatever is parallel to y-axis, that is your width. So that is why when I'm giving first at the rate, because I want to give relative, then 20 comma 10. Now you can see over here how it is created. Okay, so and from this point, let's say I give minus 20 comma 10. Of course you have to understand that this becomes your 0 comma 0 if you are taking relative coordinates. So I'll just change this to red, rec. From this point I'm giving now at the rate -20, okay, tab -10. Now you can see how it creates. So from this 0 comma 0, -10 and -20 length. So this is how you can create your rectangle. Other ways to create rectangle is rec. You have to specify first point. Once you specify first point, it asks you that if you know whether the area or the dimensions or the rotation. So first let's see area. So I click on area. Now it asks me that what is the area of the rectangle. So area of the rectangle, I just say it is 144. Now it asks me what you know. You have to give one of the dimensions, right? So what it will do is it will calculate for you. So if you give length as 10, okay, it will take something other values for the width. So if you give width as 10, it will calculate the values for the length. So you can decide what you know, length or the width. So let's say I know the length and I will say the length is 10. You can see other will be calculated. So if I give di, this is 10, that is your length. Now remember, as I give length, it is along x-axis only. Even if the width is higher, that is your 14.4, still it says that the length is along the x-axis and width is over here. Generally what we say, whatever is the longest we call it as length, and whatever is the shortest we call as width or the breadth of the rectangle. But this does not happen over here. So please remember, along the x-axis you will be always having the length, and along the y-axis you will be having the width. Next, REC, we have click first corner dimensions. Now give the length, now give the width, that's it 10, and that's it. The rectangle is created. Now you can specify from that point you want down, left, up, or which corner you want. That's it. It is created over here. Hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Moving next. Now over here, if you drop down, you get another option, that is polygon. Okay, we had seen rectangle, now polygon. Does anyone know how many minimum sides and maximum sides of polygon can be created in AutoCAD?
Minimum 5 or maximum, I guess, no limit. I guess so.
Yes, does anyone know else? Okay, so that was a
Can
good
you
try.
repeat the question?
Yeah, what is the minimum sides of polygon that you can create in this AutoCAD, and minimum maximum sides of sides you can give for the polygon?
Minimum is
Okay.
5.
Okay, anyone else? Any other answers? So right now only you can see this is 4 over here. Any other answers? Okay. So
Sir,
minimum sides
3
is
or
3.
4?
Yeah, minimum sides is 3 and maximum sides you can give is 1024. Okay, that is the limit in AutoCAD. So maximum sides is
Okay.
1024 and minimum sides is 3. See, please remember a triangle is also considered an polygon. Why I'm telling you this? In 3D world,
Sir,
everything
you are
is
not
made
audible,
up
sir.
of polygons. Yeah,
You are not
someone.
audible properly. Your voice was breaking.
What about others? Is it for everyone?
Clear to me.
Clear.
Okay. Yeah. So every object in 3D is made of a polygon. Even if in the interface you see this as a simple thing, but I'll just show you that every 3D object for the computer processing, it is made of polygons. Okay, so now see this dolphin. This is a 3D object, but it is made of polygon mesh. Of course, the surface might look to you a smooth finish. Now, 3ds Max also, we have more options like this to customize this polygons. That is why 3ds Max is best software for like interior designing and this, because you can create any type of shapes over there. You can create curtains, you can create anything, because this polygonal mesh you can adjust anyhow you want. That is too detailed level you can go for creating any objects. So please remember that whenever a 3D object is there for the computer processing. Okay, whatever the computer language is there, for it to process the information, it process in the helps of polygon for the 3D object. So any object you take of 3D world, even if it seems simple, it is made of this polygonal geometry only. Now the polygons can be a rectangle as well of four sides. So when you see an object in AutoCAD, it has too many less polygons, okay, and it is being made. So you can see over here. This is polygonal geometry that you have. So every 3D objects in the computer world is having polygons made out of it. And
Sir,
the more
maximum
number of
size.
polygons increases, the more the detailing is there. Okay. The higher the polygon, the higher
Max,
will be the processing power for this.
sir,
Yes, someone
maximum
was.
size on polygon 1024.
Yeah,
1024. Thank you.
that you can create in AutoCAD. Okay, so the more the detailing of this you want, the more number of polygons will be required, and the more number of polygons, the more processing power you require for your computers or PCs. So your graphic cards and all this depends on this number of polygons only. Okay, so much it increases, the much power will be required. So every object, as I told you, you can see over here, every object is made of polygons only. Now the polygonal shape might be different. So you can see over here, it has four sides over here. Over here, it has some are triangles, some are four sides. So it may vary. It is not compulsory what will be the shape of that polygon, but it will be a polygonal mesh. You'll get to see this in 3ds Max. Coming back to our point. So polygons. Now either you can give polygon from over here, or you can give polygon POL shortcut. So polygon. Now the first thing it asks is what is the number of sides you want. So let's say I want to create a pentagon. So I'll give 5. After that it says that specifies center of polygon. Yeah. Riaz, your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you properly.
Polygon
Riaz, please check your internet connection. Your voice is completely breaking.
always. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Polygon is always two-dimensional.
Yeah, polygon is two-dimensional only.
Always.
Yeah, always. Every geometry is created
Okay.
of two-dimensional things only. Whatever you are having for the conversion, it is a surface object. Okay, so you have a surface connection that you make. So just to show you, if I make a box over here, you can see these are just the polygons only. When you go and just make it shaded, these are the surfaces. Okay, these are the connecting surfaces that you see. But in the background, your object is 2D and this polygon is a 2D only. It is not a 3D object. This polygon that you see at the top surface is 2D object. This surface is 2D. This surface is 2D. So all 2D objects come together and make it. Now, how it exists in the 3D, that is a different part, because this part is in XYZ. You can have XYZ values for this corner. XYZ can be values for this corner. So you can see it as a 3D because you are having XYZ coordinates that you are having. Okay. So you can see 3D because over here XYZ coordinates are existing. This can be in different XYZ or this can be in different XYZ. So that is the point, you can call it as polygonal 3D, but mostly it is a 2D object. When you convert this, it becomes a surface. Okay, is that clear? Coming back to our polygon. So if I click over here, polygon, it asks me for the sides, 5. Now it asks me for the center of the polygon. So I'll specify anywhere. I can specify the center. Now it asks me that what is inscribed in a circle you want it, or circumscribed about a circle. Now can someone tell me what is inscribed and circumscribed?
inner
Sir, if
side of the
circle is
circle and outer side.
Yeah,
circle is
right.
inside the polygon, then it is inscribed. Then if it is outer, then
Yes,
circumscribed.
yes, perfect. So what I will do is to show you perfectly, I'll just create a circle, and inside this point I will create my polygon. So over here, the center, I'll give the center of the circle inscribed in a circle, and I'll just give this as my dimension. So I can give shift. So this is inscribed in a circle. So inscribed over here. Now when you give circumscribed, I'll just go to polygon. I will change this polygon, 5 sides over here, center. I'm giving this as center, circumscribed about the circle, and I'm picking the same point. You can see over here, I'm picking the same point that I picked for the inscribed circle. But from this, you can understand about this circle, you have got the circumscribed, and inside the circle, you have got the inscribed polygon. So this is the inscribed and circumscribed that you're getting. Now, one thing to remember in inscribed is that the distance from the center is to the vertices. Okay, so when I create a line from the center of my polygon to over here, you can see this point from center to whatever distance you are giving, it goes to the vertices. But same for the circumscribed polygon, the center to the distance of the edge you are giving, okay, to the center of the edge you are giving. So that is the difference between circumscribed and inscribed. This information will be needed when I will be giving some files to work on. So this information is important for you. Please do remember. So this is your polygon. Now polygon you can create with the help of sides. Let's say you don't know what is center point and the radius of it. I give 5. After that I get an option of edge. So you can click over here, edge. Now you have to give edge distance. So I'll give what is the edge distance. So you can see over here the edge distance I have to give. So let's say one side of the edge is 200. So I'll give 200. And you can see with the edge distance 200, your pentagon is created. So this is the next way to create your polygon. After that, over here you have ellipse. Now ellipse, you have two ways to create it. Okay, this is an elliptical arc. Ellipse, you have two ways to create. The first is center. Now when you're specifying the center, you have to next give the endpoint of axis. Now this endpoint of axis, it does not take the complete endpoint of axis. You might be knowing a ellipse has a minor axis and a major axis. The first, it does not, you cannot say minor and major, because I can just give over here, and this also I can make it as minor, or I can make this as major. Okay, so any axes can be major or minor. It depends on the distance you are giving. So this can become your major, the before one can you make as a minor, or this one you can make as minor, the first that you give will become major. So what happens in this is that first thing you have to give is the distance from the center. So let me create over here. Now the line, you can see over here, this point to this point, and line from this point over here to this point. Now what you see, the center is that first you gave the center, from that center you give the half distance of this complete axis. It might be major or minor, it depends when you convert it. So for this you gave the half distance, and after this you gave the half distance over here from the center I am talking about. Now the next method that you are having for the ellipse is axis end. Now the first thing that you give is your complete axis, and then you give this as major or minor. Now over here I'll just draw a line and I'll show in this what you did. In this you first gave the total distance of this axis, total distance of the axis, and then you give the half distance of this axis. In this first method you give the half distance of this axis, half distance of this axis, and this complete distance of the axis, and then half distance of this axis. So these are the two methods to create an ellipse. After that you have elliptical arc, and this you have to do the same thing. So you give axis endpoint of elliptical arc, so you can see another endpoint, and from that you have to give again the minor, and then you start giving a angle. So from here I can pick and I can create at what angle I have to give. So this is an elliptical arc. Now, as I said, you can create circle with the help of this ellipse also. So you can give center point, you can give the common distance. So I give over here 50, let's say 50, and this side also as 50. You can see over here a circle. So you can create a circle with the help of ellipse also. So you have 7 options to create a circle. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. The next things will be some options from the draw tool, and after that we'll go to modify. So let me take the attendance.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah,
Sir, after completing the live lecture, how much time it will take to be uploaded on my Bitcam?
yeah. So as I told you, it will be uploaded before 12 a.m. today, or mostly before 12 a.m. p.m. tomorrow. If there is any problem, then only it will be uploaded tomorrow. But mostly I'll be uploading it before 12 a.m. today.
So most of the time at 12 a.m. today.
Yeah, yeah, it will be today only, mostly today only. But if there is some problem, Wi-Fi connection issues, or there is some problem with the application, then it will go to tomorrow.
So,
Yes.
can we attend the live classes on mobile means phone also, or only
See,
laptop?
no, you can attend it, but when you have questions, you want to share something is happening in your laptop, okay? So let's say you're not able to do certain kind of command. That time you have to share your screen. So that is why I asked every time to have a laptop.
Okay, because I was unable to attend it on mobile phone actually day before yesterday. That's why I asked.
Okay, you
That
can attend it,
Microsoft
but if you're
team
getting
is only
problem,
for
yeah.
Microsoft team is only for the PCs and the system, not for
No, for
uh,
mobiles also we are having applications. So that is not
because I
compulsory.
was not able to attend or
You'll have to download the Teams app on the mobile
for
phone.
what for iOS.
iOS also, I think so. You have to download Teams app only, and then you can access.
Because I was unable to download the app Microsoft Team on my phone.
Okay, I have not checked with the iOS. I'll check it today, and I will let you know about iOS.
Okay, and
Naval,
Yeah, you were saying something. Yes, somebody was asking the question. Okay, let me take the attendance. Shubham, if you're trying to say something, your voice is not audible.
No, no, I don't have any issue.
Okay. Okay. Divya,
Yes, sir.
Ajay, Ajay, are you present? Samir,
yes, sir.
Pawan,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Asif,
Yes, sir.
Nawaz,
Yes, sir.
Sir, sir. No.
Nivedita,
yes, sir.
Shubham,
Yes, sir.
Hiteshwari,
Present.
Aisha, Akash, Minu, Ilyas is there, Fahad,
Yes, sir.
Swaleha, Soumya Devi.
Yes, sir.
So